Ever since the release of The Walking Dead Secret Lair in 2020, Magic players have been skeptical of Universes Beyond as a concept. And essentially, Universes Beyond is a sub-brand of Magic the Gathering that exists in addition to and alongside the regular line of products. Universes Beyond essentially allows Wizards to mine other IPs for content in the game. And in some cases, it's good in the sense that you can bring in fans of other properties or universes. So you have The Walking Dead, Stranger Things, Arcane, Street Fighter, Fortnite. Most of these ones, I think these were all secret lairs to start out. And then you had Warhammer 40k as commander decks, which I believe is the best way to introduce Universes Beyond. Transformers was another, I think those were in booster packs. Those were like within the one of the sets. And then Dungeons & Dragons was its own set. I like that. Lord of the Rings, own set. I also like that. Creepshow, I believe, Secret Lair. Doctor Who was its own set of decks. So essentially, the Universes Beyond allows Wizards to do this. They can mine these other ideas and create worlds in addition to what they have already created in the multiverse of Magic. And so people are going to argue that introducing all of these different clashing IPs is going to dilute the Magic brand and cause the game to lose a little bit of its magic, if you will. And so what I'm here to talk about today is the idea that Universes Beyond and the card prices and the reprint policy are all kind of at odds with each other. And what we have here is really what happened is the One Ring spiked in price lately. Right now, it's currently going for $133 in paper. And the price graph here, it shot way up. It's at its highest point almost right now. And so with the One Ring being spiking so high, players have been talking about, like, you know, why and how is Wizards going to reprint these highly sought after cards in a way that's acceptable to players and that they can use as a game piece rather than just a collectible. And the issue with the One Ring is kind of like a perfect storm of everything, because what happens with this card is it's playable in every single format in which it's legal. It's dominant in almost every single format that it's legal, I believe, if not every format that it's legal, including Commander, Legacy, Modern. I don't know if it's dominant in Legacy, but it is dominant in Modern. And so Commander and Modern especially. And multi-format staples like the One Ring being printed only in a Universes Beyond set in Lord of the Rings, which was a set, and it was number 1 or number 2 best-selling Magic set of all time, I believe. Even with that, this card is still over $100, $133 right now. And so players are wondering, how are we going to reprint this? And is Universes Beyond going to turn into another reserved list issue here? As you can see with, I'll put it in the middle screen. So you have the reserved list cards. These are sorted by USD price. And you have cards like Tabernacle, Mishra's Workshop, Juzam Jin, et cetera, et cetera. And some of these are just like the alpha printing. But cards like these are a problem for Commander especially. And as a Commander channel, I'm going to point out that these are the ones that are legal in Commander. There are some that are not, such as the Power 9, well, Power 8. And so the issue here is that with reserve list cards and now the One Ring style cards with Universes Beyond, players are getting priced out of the game with certain game pieces. As you can see with the Tabernacle, Mishra's Workshop, and so on, it starts at like $3,600 down to $2,000, $1,800, and so on and so forth down the list. And these are all hundreds of dollars on this card, or on this list of reserve list cards. And obviously, what's happening is the reserve list is a construct by Wizards to maintain the confidence of Magic the game as a collectible, and they have a reprint policy not to reprint cards from before a certain era. I believe before Mercadian Mask block that's the cutoff for reserve list cards, and I believe it's mostly like rares. And so those cards they cannot print in any form, even in gold border, which they try to do with Magic 30th. They're technically are not supposed to, according to their own policy. And so what this does is it creates a huge bottleneck on game pieces, and players are not able to access them in a reasonable, responsible manner. I mean, you could save up the money and spend it on this, but that's probably a bad idea for most people. And so if we go to the Universes Beyond list here, as you can see, you have the One Ring, you have, I'm going to get the picture over here. So you have the One Ring at the top, and I don't know if this price chart is accurate. Let me refresh this. But yeah, it's actually gone up a buck right here. So it's going up as I record the video. I had this tab pulled up yesterday. It's still going up. So the One Ring, 14th Doctor, Thumberchod, most of these are really not like a huge problem, but the fact that they're only printed one time is the issue. So Orcish Bowmasters is the other one. This is a multi-format staple, Modern and Commander. Apologies for my voice. I have a little bit of a voice thing going on, and so these are, it's not too bad right now, but the One Ring is like the first real crack in this iceberg, this problem. And actually, Rick Steadfast Leader was another one. This was reprinted in a Universes Within version with the Graymond Avison's Steward, I believe. That's what this is. Yep, that's the same as Rick Steadfast Leader. And so the question here is, what are the solutions to Universes Beyond being a pseudo reserve list for Magic? As we can see, there is Universes Within. It's a rebranded Universes Beyond cards. Essentially, Wizards can reskin these after a certain time period, depending on their contract with those IPs, and they can release them in whatever way they see fit after a certain time period. And so, I actually don't disagree with that in a broad sense. Unless you get a card like the One Ring, most of these are not going to be like terribly expensive. I mean, these are expensive. Like $50 for a single card is expensive, but I digress. So as you can see, what Wizards has done here, they've created secret layers with Universes Within for The Walking Dead, Stranger Things, and Street Fighter, and then it's TBA for the rest of these Universes Within cards. I guess it depends on demand. If players demand them enough, then it will happen. And so the question is, what's going to happen with the One Ring? The One Ring is such a staple that it's wow, this is not loading at all. There we go. It's such a staple that Wizards is really incentivized to print this in some sort of fashion, maybe a secret lair, maybe Universes Within. It could be in another set. It could be another run of Lord of the Rings. It could be a number of things. And so my solutions for this, so here are the potential solutions that I've thought up. So you have the list. You have Aftermath or Big Score style reprints. You also have Secret Lairs, which I mentioned. You could put it as a masterpiece. You can have Universes Beyond Horizons. That's kind of like that's a stretch, and that's a ways away. But the modern Horizons sets are just big reprint sets with new cards sprinkled in as well. And so they could do like a Modern Horizons / Universes Horizons, put in the One Ring as one of the chase cards, and profit. And so this is just like an interesting little concept, an interesting little corner of the Magic universe that I've stumbled upon here. And actually, MTG Goldfish did a video on this a year ago. Is Universes Beyond the new reserve list? And Wizards is kind of, they made it. It's a really good video. I suggest checking it out. And basically, they mentioned a lot of the same things here, in that Wizards is a little bit, they got their hands tied a little bit in terms of timing. They can't immediately print these again with the same name, with the same flavor, with the One Ring. They probably are going to have to do a Universes Within version of this based on the contract they had with Lord of the Rings franchise. And so Blogatog here, Mark Rosewater answers, he says, there are no such plans to make regular set Warhammer 40K. That's the example of this Blogatog. But if they reserve the right to make Universes Within in-universe versions if the need arises. And essentially, that's what I was saying earlier, is that they can make alternate products that handle this printing issue. And so, yeah, looking at the Commander non-reserved list most expensive cards, the One Ring is actually number 2 underneath Mana Crypt. And so Mana Crypt is also kind of its own issue, where it's like, okay, this Mana Crypt is its own like Universes Beyond style card. It's probably ban-worthy in Commander, so is the One Ring, honestly, but people like to have their toys, they like to have fun. And so you have these very expensive cards: Mana Crypt, One Ring, Jeweled Lotus, Ancient Tomb, Mox Opal, Dockside Extortionist. Like, this list has a lot of very expensive cards on it, and I think Wizards can come up with creative ways to reprint these in Universes Within products, perhaps a new Horizons style set, Secret Lairs, and so on and so forth. I think the issue, however, is going to be the timing, with especially the One Ring, and the demand for that particular card is exceeding many players' wallets. And so I pose that question to you guys. What would you guys do to solve the Universes Beyond issues? Would you say that we need more of those style sets, more Secret Lairs, Horizon sets. What do you guys think in the comments? Let me know. And until next time.